Do you have extreme anxiety? I am working with a brand new client who is 6 years old. He's almost 6 within a few days, so he's all excited about turning 6. But one of the things that I have found with this energy is that a lot of the fears that he have come in from past lives. It's not just from this life. He's had a relatively easy life. Nothing major happens to him or anything else. But I will tell you, he comes in with so much energy and anxiety from his past life. It is really affecting him today. So we're going to talk all about this, so stay tuned. So I really want to talk about anxiety because a lot of people have anxiety and it's different levels. And some people are like, oh, I could go through that. And other people are like, I'm just topped out. It's like I can't deal with anymore. Well, that's kind of the way anxiety is something that may be really relatively easy for you to deal with is going to be like extremely hard for someone else. And it could come in from like what they've already dealt with in this life, but it could also be what they've dealt in their past lives. And so that can just be like super powerful and super like, oh my gosh. And sometimes in a past life, whatever they are anxious about or whatever else, either almost killed them, did kill them, or like super pain or something like that. So it's one of those like, of course you're going to be afraid of that. But working with my almost 6-year-old new client is kind of an interesting one because I kind of had to learn how to deal with anxiety very young. So it's different to kind of deal with someone who's very young who has such anxiety. And so that's kind of one of those energies with him. But one of the things that we have found with his energy is doing regular salt tubs is always a good one. He has a couple of them that he's made. And I think that's kind of one of those like special ones. Usually ones that really help with like lavender. Some of them are rose petals. So that's kind of helps him calm down a little bit more. And he does have a couple of other ones that he really likes, like a lemon citrus, and it just really depends on his energy. But I will say also peppermint is really helpful too, and these can help with anxiety from anything and everything around you. One of the things is kind of we talked about with him is like kind of having that gatekeeper of like, what thoughts am I letting in today, or what thoughts do I not want to let in today? Because once you start down that anxiety path, it's really hard to turn around. It's not that you can't, it just makes it more difficult. And so we talked about like keeping track of his thoughts and how he feels about everything. And it's one of those like, that thought, how do I feel about that thought? How do I feel about this thought? How do I feel about this thought? And so that kind of gives him some amazing ways to really think about like, what is he dealing with? Why is it coming up? That sort of thing. And then we kind of also talked about some ways to kind of calm things down. And so I will tell you, probably the number one thing that really helps with people to calm things down is meditation. So when you are meditating, that is one of those, yes, you're focused on your breathing, you're focusing on relaxing your energy, you're focusing on what's going on within you and not with everybody else around you. So that makes it a little bit easier, a little bit lighter in energy. And I will tell you too that we found some amazing stones for him. Now, amethyst is always a really good one, and rose quartz are people are like, oh yeah, those are the common ones. But there were some that kind of came up that I was kind of like really interested in. So I'm going to do the same thing with you as I did with him. This is my Crystal Angel deck that I've had for quite a while, and I'm going to get these in flow. This one is one that is popping out, and the card that comes out is fluorite. And fluorite is really good about like bringing that authenticity. So it's kind of one of those, we talked about this. This would be a good one to have if like you're kind of dealing with some past life stuff as well. Is it authentically in this life, or is it authentically in a previous life? So that can really help as well. Let me pull one other one. See which one really. Actually, that one. I'm looking at it from your angle, so I don't. amber. So amber is all about giving it to creator energy, and this can be a really helpful one if you are dealing with things and if you're feeling overwhelmed, to give it to creator energy. Because a lot of times, like, people will say, like, give it to someone else, and then really what you're becoming is like an energy vampire, and not necessarily dealing with the energy around you, but kind of like have your creator energy kind of take some of the energy from you, so it's not so bad. So it kind of takes it from a level 10 to kind of like a level 2 or 3, so it makes it much easier to deal with. And it can make it much easier. Granted, he's only like 5, almost 6, but it's one of those, it can make it easier for anybody and everybody. And he's having a lot of anxiety dealing with going back to school and kind of getting around the kids and what's new and different and that sort of thing. So it's a lot about new environments, new energy for him. So there is a lot of things that you can learn about just anxiety itself when you start really thinking about it, and then picking some stones that can really amplify your energy and help you kind of feel very protected.